Hey everyone, it's been pretty quiet since my last video. I've not had anyone respond to me on my social media or my conspiracy theory website post, but maybe they will if I, give them a bit more time. So I finally caught up on looking into Manticore. Like I said, I would, the last few times. But before I do get into all that, just putting another lead, I just want to put another lead out there. Um, it might be nothing, or it might be something, but maybe someone can help. I don't know if anyone actually watches these things for one, but I could use all the help I could get. Help turning this info into kind of something that makes a bit more sense. Um, I tried researching the term monk and Manticore Group of Companies uh, to try and get more stuff that kind of ties this whole link between monk, or Canterbury, Manticore, um, all that stuff together basically. And something like 23 pages into the search results, the name William Monk shows up. The guy who runs Manticore, but it didn't mention Manticore in any way. The first results in all those pages to mention his name, but not mention Manticore. Um, it was the state of Delaware's company registry saying someone called William Monk uh, filed a claim with them in 1994. Um, doesn't say what company, but the Manticore Housing Commission, the first of his big group of companies, was launched in 1994. So, probably coincidence, but I've contacted the registry to request more info. So I dug into it a little bit, and there were loads of irrelevant links on the internet and a lot of dead links as well, nothing relating to this. One thing that did show up, which was, kind of totally unrelated, but, kind of interesting, was an application in the 1960s to the Consultant Bureau in New York. It was for two people to be credited as co-author for a monograph titled Experimental Transplantation of Vital Organs. And it was by a Russian guy named Vladimir Demikov. There was no more information on it that I could find, but Demikov was famous for creating a two-headed dog, which is kind of gross, but that also sounds kind of cool. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, I looked into Manticore. So here it is here. So here's the website. Manticore's, broken up into 8 companies. The Housing Commission, Manticore Technologies, Manticore Care, Manticore Energy, the Manticore Foundation, Manticore Travel, Manticore Publishing, and Manticore Media. We'll have a quick look through it, just to be thorough. William Monk, the guy I was just talking to you guys about, he's pretty reclusive. I'm gonna keep looking into the link to the state of Delaware registry, because Manticore never mentions the state of Delaware. Doesn't have an office there. Okay. The Housing Commission. There's nothing really here. Offices in Algeria, Moldova. They have one in Peru, so there's a kind of loose link to Darren Pearce because he was there. I'll make a note of it, but that might be a stretch. Technologies, yeah. I'm actually recording and editing this on a Mantiputer, so nothing there. Care Energy, I read about their rivalry with a company called Smith Energy, but that's all pretty irrelevant for the most part. Manticore Foundation, the big foreign aid historical preservation thing. They sponsored that Halley's Comet exhibition. I mentioned, a few videos back. Um, Manticore Travel. There's been that big thing in the news about them trying to get into space travel. They were partnering with NASA. Manticore Publishing bought out Maximilian Publishing. That was back in 2010. And they did that with Monk Book and Manticore Media. And yeah. So it's headed up by Lucius St. Mercy, who used to run the talent agency called part of it called Manticore Management. It represents famous people like Denzel Washington, and those radio DJs like Mike and Johnny, as well as authors. This Lucius St. Mercy always shows up in the Manticore stuff, in group pictures and at parties and conferences and charity things. So he's a pretty big deal, and he seems easier to reach out to than William Monk. So no idea if he'd remember me. So I tried contacting this junior agent called Julius. Only number I could find from Manticore Management, and he referred me to Lucius. So, actually, to Lucius's assistant, a woman called Shioban Okasi. I'm gonna try and see if I can get an email address or something I can send, where I can send them all my findings and stuff when I'm ready. So, I'll do that right now, actually.
You've reached the office of Lucius St. Mercy at Manticore Management. Mr. St. Mercy is currently unavailable, so please leave a message after the beep and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
Okay, well, clearly went to voicemail then. I'm not going to bother with that. But hey, it works. So, yeah, I know how to reach out now at least, which is progress. I don't want to have to contact this guy until I get a more solid theory, but it's good to know that works. Doing this all alone, I just probably look like a weirdo. But justly so, I probably am. But I think there's something going on here, and no idea what yet. But I want to keep looking. So. All right, that's all this time around. Hopefully I'll be back with something, a little more interesting. So,